Hi guys, welcome back to the Curious Cat Kitchen. For those of you that are new here, my name is Kat and I'm here to show you simple dishes that will inspire you to cook more in the kitchen and make more healthier, nutritious meals for you and your family. Today I'm going to show you one of my daughter's favorite dishes to make. She always asks for it, and it's another one of my go-to dishes when I really don't know what I want to make and I need something really simple and quick. It is a tofu. It's a sushi sandwich made out of tofu, pickled carrots and cucumber, and sushi rice. Super simple, and you get protein, it's filling, and it's easy to eat. You can take it with you on the go as well because it is wrapped like a sandwich that you can bring with you. So first, I am gonna make the rice, and I'm going to show you how I learned to measure water for the rice when I was younger. I don't know if it's just a Chinese thing, but even though, they have the measuring lines on the rice cooker, I don't think I've ever really used it. I've always used this method, which is measuring with my finger. When you put your finger on the top of the rice, the water should reach like the first line of your knuckle here, and then obviously if you want your rice softer, mushier, you add a little bit more water. Because when I was younger, for some reason, I liked like mushier rice, kind of like sticky rice, I guess. But so I'm gonna grab the rice and I'm gonna rinse it out, and I'll show you my crazy method of measuring the water. So I've measured out 2 cups of rice in here, and for I go with 2 cups. That's usually the average amount of rice that I make. I don't know why, unless obviously I need more. We're gonna go ahead and wash it and rinse it out. You want to wash your rice whenever you're cooking rice until the water runs clear. So you see how it's like white. If you ever cook rice, when you first put water in, it runs. You want to wash all the starch out. So that's the white that's the murkiness, the white that you see in the water. So usually it's like depending on the rice, you want to rinse it about 4 or 5 times. You want to rinse it till the water is pretty much clear. It's not going to be super clear, but you want to keep washing it until it is clear. And usually how I wash my rice, I know some people will put it in a strainer and rinse it out, but you can't see the water being collected when you do it like that. So what I do is I put the water in, move it around a couple of times, and then pour it out and keep doing it until, like I said, the water runs pretty clear. I was thinking about last night how much work it is to take care of ourselves. Okay, so it's pretty, you see it? I don't know if you can. It's hard to see, but it's pretty much like you can see the water from the separation of the water from the rice. So this is pretty good. But how much work it takes to take care of ourselves and to live our balanced life. As you know, I'm on this journey of doing this, starting my YouTube channel, and I've started now editing, so there's editing to be done. But then I also got to factor in, sleep, getting enough rest, and getting and working out, and doing the things that we need to do. And then before you know it, time goes so fast, and it's like I gotta get to bed in order to get. I aim for 8 hours, but on average, I usually get like 6, which is something I need to work on. But it's something that you have to keep working on to find that balance. And then there are times that like your quote unquote spiritual self will be like, oh, but you'll just go with the flow. You don't have to think about anything. And then your mind kicks in and be like, well, you can't just go with the flow because you gotta make money, you gotta work. And then if you gotta make money, you gotta work, then you gotta do this. Like your mind just goes crazy. I know it's not just me. Like it can't be just me. I hope it's not. Let me know if it is just me. But when you go on this journey, there's a balance of like, it's all about finding a balance, right? It's balancing your mind and your heart, which is your ego and your soul, and they will go into battle sometimes of like, well, no, you got to do this, and then the other side is like, well, no, you don't have to do that, you can just trust and go with the flow. And then the ego is like, the mind is like, but no, what if this happens? Anyways, I'm rambling, but I'm gonna move the camera so you can see the water measurements and how I do it. And I'm gonna turn on the light because it looks like it's about to rain, so I want to get some more light in here. You touch the top of the rice, and then the water should reach this line. So this is the amount of water, but you can also go by measuring the cups of water that it says to have rather than doing my crazy method. But I just wanted to share that was just how I learned to make rice when I was growing up. That was the only method I knew, was to use my finger. And it worked every time. It made rice the way I needed it to. So that was the way I did it, and I just wanted to show you guys real quick. I'm gonna now pickle the carrots and cucumbers. Is a really quick pickling method. It doesn't have to sit for long, so I'm gonna grab the cucumber and the carrots and I'll be back. Okay, so I have cucumber, carrots, or carrot, and I'm gonna just ribbon it. So I have a vegetable peeler. I use the skin on the carrots as well as the cucumber, and you just keep running it. I flip it around just to get a balance, and you just keep doing that. Keep the end on the cucumber so I have something to hold on to. It's the point where it's just the guards won't let me go low enough. Guards on the side won't let me go low enough to get it. So now the carrot, we do the same thing. I don't peel my carrots either. I always eat it. I do cut the ends off though. Just a little bit of the end. I do eat the skin because there's a lot of nutrients in the skin. And make sure if you're going to eat the skin of anything to buy organic, however organic it is here in the US. But as organic is better than doing conventional. That's my take anyways. It may not be, but I like to believe that it is. Goes through maybe, hopefully, a stricter law. Okay, so that's all cut up. Putting it in a bowl. Rice vinegar. Mix that around, and that is it. I use white rice vinegar because it's just a milder vinegar, but it still does the job of pickling. You can, sometimes I will put a little bit of apple cider vinegar in it too. Apple cider vinegar in it as well, because just for the benefits of having apple cider vinegar. But if you don't have it, you don't have to get it. You can use any type of vinegar really that you want to pickle it, and it just sits until the rice is done and you're ready to assemble, so it doesn't even have to sit for long. Just really 30 minutes, an hour or so, and then you have these quick pickled cucumber and carrot ribbons to put in your sandwich. I'm going to show you the tofu. I already had it pressed earlier. I just wrap it in paper towel. You can get they have tofu pressers. You can get a tofu presser and do it, but not necessary. I just wrap it in paper towel and a clean rag towel that will absorb it, and then I put something heavy on it. I have a cutting board that is pretty heavy that I put on top and sit on top, and it let that sit. So I'm cutting it about yay thick. That's what, half an inch? No, that's more than half an inch. That's probably 3/4 of an inch. You don't want it too thick and you don't want it too thin. Just remember that when you pan fry it, because I am going to pan fry this and then add sauce to it, it will shrink down just a little bit, not too much. So you don't want to cut it too thin, but you want a good size like this. So one block can make 3 sandwiches. You use 2. So I'm going to turn around the camera again, and we're going to pan fry this until it's crispy or golden on all sides. And then while that's frying, I'll show you how to make the sauce. Okay, so I have a little bit of avocado oil in here. And we're just gonna lay the tofu right in there. And we're gonna let that baby cook while I show you how to make the sauce. And I love the sauce. It's just so flavorful on everything. Gochujang. Now the gochujang I buy is not super authentic, I will say. I have bought gochujang from the Korean store before, and it's a little bit more, the flavor is more of fermented taste, and it is spicier. So this one is less spicy, but I get it. I get this one from Trader Joe's simply because my daughter loves this dish, my youngest, and she can't take, well, neither of my girls can take a lot of spice, but she can't take a lot of spice, so I get this one because it's not as spicy. A tablespoon and a bit in here. And then is just soy sauce and maple syrup. I'm going to do a video soon of 2 other tofu recipes that I make that is so good and so versatile. I actually use tofu quite a bit. I would say I probably eat it about 3 times a week. Not a lot, but you know, I know there's a lot of people out there that is anti-tofu, or tofu gets a really bad rep. But I will do a video explaining that more when I make the other 2 dishes about tofu when I do it. But none of the myths that tofu gets is true. Unless you actually have a soy intolerance to tofu, it is perfectly safe to consume 2 to 3 servings daily. Now, if you think about it, it's tofu, not tofu, soy is so prominent in Asian culture. Obviously, there's soy sauce, everything, a lot of it is soy based. You have miso, which is fermented soybean paste, gochujang, which is fermented soybean paste with spice, tofu. There's just a lot of and other stuff. Like I said, I will go more into it. But if all the beliefs were true about tofu, then the Asian culture women would be having a lot of breast cancers, and you know, the men would be growing breasts. But like I said, I won't go into too much of it. But it is very prominent, obviously, in Asian culture for soy to be in a lot of dishes. So, I'm gonna put a little bit more soy. So I didn't marinate the tofu because it's not necessary to. Once you pan fry it and you add the sauce on it, it actually doesn't need, the flavor just goes right to it. So it doesn't need to be marinated. So that is the sauce. Just taste it and fix it to your liking. But it should be like a somewhat thick but runny sauce that you're gonna pour over, because it's gonna glaze over the tofu once it's done. But like I said, taste it so that it's sweet enough or it's salty enough. It should be salty enough because soybean paste is salty, and then you have the soy sauce, which is also salty. But you just want to get a good amount of maple syrup in there to balance it out and get the sweetness, and then also that will caramelize and glaze the sauce when it's thicken it when it's over the tofu. Once the tofu is done, I'm going to show you. You put the sauce on, let it glaze, and then it is ready to assemble and to go. And I'll show you how easy it is. And it's so good. Like, I swear my daughter would eat this every day if I make it for her. But we also love sushi in this house. And just to add on, if you are not plant-based, this is also, you can substitute the tofu with your protein of choice. You can use the same sauce. You can use beef. You can use chicken, and use the same method. Just pan fry it as the sauce, glaze it. Obviously, if you're doing meat, you want to probably season the meat before to get a little bit more flavor. But you can season it, pan fry it, throw the sauce on, and assemble it the exact same way, and then you can have the same sushi sandwich but with your protein of choice. When it gets like that on one side, that's when you are you know you're ready to flip it. Food is ready for the sauce. Careful for the splatter. I'm not going to put all of it on at once. Once again, the versatility of this is just endless, right? If you don't like the sauce, if you want to try different sauce, and like I said, different protein, just the idea of it is, and really sushi, you know, when I was younger, I used to love, I mean, I still do, but when I was a kid, like I love Japanese food. And I used to think that sushi was like the hardest thing to make. And now that I'm older and I cook and I make it, I realized that it's super simple, and the variations and the creations that you can make with it is truly endless. It's basically just rice with anything you want in nori, but you can also now do other wrappings besides seaweed. But you know, and I should also say, so not to, sushi, the word sushi is actually supposed to be, oh, I heard this somewhere, don't quote me if I'm wrong, but from what I remember, the word sushi is actually meaning raw fish. So when you're eating sushi that doesn't have fish, it's not really sushi, but we just refer it to that because it's an easier reference, right? To say. So this is done. It's nice and brown. I'm going to turn it off and take it off the heat so it doesn't burn. So before we assemble this, I am going to season the rice with sugar. I only have brown sugar, so that's what I'm putting in. A little bit of sugar, sesame oil, rice vinegar. Now you can just let that be that, but I do like some furikake in it, and this one is the one from Trader Joe's because it's the cleanest one. There are the ones that taste better from the Asian store, where it's like some kind of seasoning, but this is the cleanest one because it's only seaweed and sesame seeds. So I like to season it with that, but if you don't want to, that is perfectly fine. Or you can just sprinkle the furikake on top of the rice once you're assembling it. And then you just want to mix that around. Well, mix it in the rice cooker. That's well combined. And you can also buy, I've seen sushi rice seasoning at Asian markets as well. So you can also get sushi rice seasoning, but really if you have these ingredients at home, then you don't really need to get that. I always have rice vinegar. The vinegars I always keep in the house is apple cider vinegar for its health benefits, and rice vinegar because we eat sushi a lot. And regular white vinegar I use to clean produce and the floors. So that's what I use white vinegar for, and the rest is for food and like making pickled vegetables and stuff like that. All right, so the rice is ready. I'm going to show you how to assemble this all together so you have the sushi sandwich. Okay, so we're ready to assemble. We're going to take 2 sheets of seaweed. We're going to cut it, this one, not really in half, just that much. I want to cut that far down, like to the halfway point. We're going to put one of them aside. We're not ready for it yet. And then we're going to take rice. Like so. We're gonna, you want to spread it out into about the halfway point. Like so. This yummy tofu. Do like that. You take a little bit more rice. You probably want to put a little bit less rice on the side when you do it. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of rice. And once again, adjust the amount of rice to your liking. Just a little bit spread it like that. We're going to take the marinated quick pickled cucumber and carrots. This. So you have all three components. Now we're going to fold into our sandwich. We're going to go one over, and one over. So you have this. Now I use the second sheet of seaweed because it starts to fall apart. So you take the side that's open and the other side that's open, the two corners. And you fold like this, and like this, so that it is all wrapped up like this. Now, if you let the seaweed itself, once it gets warm, it will be less crispy and it will stick. So all you have to do is just let it sit like that. And you can, if you're taking it to go, you can wrap it in plastic wrap and take it to go. There you have a very delicious sushi sandwich. So there you have it. Delicious handheld sushi sandwich that is filling, nutritious, and quick and simple that you can make whenever you need a quick meal and you have the ingredients, or substitute whatever ingredients you want, but that's how you make the sandwich. Okay, so thank you once again for joining me. I will be posting the recipe, like I said, for the tofu that I have, 2 different recipes, and I'll show you how to make breakfast as well as ricotta with the tofu on the next episode. And if you're not subscribing, hit the subscribe button so that you'll get all the videos that I post, upcoming videos, so you don't miss any. I'm always about posting simple, quick recipes for you to try and to also inspire you to create your own from those base recipes for other things that you would want to make. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Stay curious.